Hello, and welcome back to Reconnect, my Thursday weekly session where I want to give you some good vibes, some helpful tips, things that are going to be able to help you to embody your best self, increase your impact and income rather, and step into your power and purpose. And today I'm here to talk about, when we're not okay, because there's a lot going on in the world right now. So I wanted to give you some tips to help you get through those moments when you are really not on the up. So if you've not joined me before, my name is Faye Semple and I am a spiritual and energy embodiment coach to spiritual female entrepreneurs. Women who came here with a mission and a purpose and have got to that point in life where they realise, my God, I've got to get it done. So it's all about stepping into your power, your purpose, and making a bigger impact in the world and increasing your impact. And for those of you who've been following my journey, you will see that in the last, 2 years, I have revolutionised my life. So yeah, let me just wait for people to. I'm just going to wait for people to get logged on for a minute so I can see what's happening. I'm just going to make sure I can see my other page, so I can. Oh, I can't see my other page. I've got it propped up at the wrong angle, so I can see where I am, so I can share it to my Facebook page profile. So yeah, so we're here today to talk about really when things don't go according to plan, and how important it is to be kind to ourselves. Being kind to yourself is one of the best things you can actually do for yourself. It's really, it's really important what language we use with ourselves, whether we're being kind to ourselves, whether we're berating ourselves, and what's happening in our life. How we speak to ourselves is really important. So I just can't seem to share onto my profile. I'm just doing that while I speak. So bear with. Right, there we go. Now I'm shared to my other page, my profile. Right, so yeah, we're here today to talk about when things aren't okay, as I say. And anybody who's been following me will know that in the last few years, I have revolutionised my life. I've gone from being a survivor of severe domestic abuse with no home, no money, very little, to actually now running my own business, making consistent 10K months. And I've completely revolutionised my life by working with energy and mindset. 80% of success in business is mindset and energy. 20% is actually the strategy and the action, I would say. Your desire to succeed, your motivation, your clarity is everything. But we don't have that every day, do we? Let's face it, we all have days where we're not okay. So today I wanted to give you a few tips about, when you're not okay, what you can do about it. So we all, as I say, we all have those days. So I've left my notes on the other screen as well. Sometimes, we're not okay. Sometimes I'm really prepared and sometimes, obviously, I'm not. Obviously, today's one of those. Am I going to beat myself up over it? No. Right. So, I hope that you're feeling good today, apart from little mess ups. So am I, generally positive. But I recognise that sometimes that we're not feeling at our best inside. We've got a lot of negative self-talk going on and we're berating ourselves. And that's normal. That's quite normal. We all do it. We all have those days. So when things don't go according to plan, they aren't working out for you, and maybe you're feeling tired, you're fed up, you're frustrated. There's a lot of shizzle going on right now, and it can be really hard to see an end point. Vaccine. Well, like in the UK, we've got a vaccine rollout now. There might be a shortage of supply. There are variations in the virus. We're on, the economic uncertainty is prevalent at the moment. So it's okay not to be okay. Absolutely okay not to be okay. So give me some comments. I can see people are watching. Let me know, are you okay at the moment? If you're watching this live, comment. If you're watching this on replay, comment. I always check in afterwards, so it'd be good to see how you are. But I want you to know that it's okay not to be okay. We all have those days. So, you can tell if you're not okay, but through self-awareness. So at the end of the day, if you're saying to yourself, I should have been more organised, I should have got that sorted out by now, I should have done this, I should have done that, those kind of that kind of language definitely doesn't help. All that is sinking into your subconscious mind, this self-beration, how you're not meeting up to some level, that you're not good enough, that you're falling short. And, you know, we all get days where we get things wrong. You know, yesterday I looked at my list of to-dos, I tried to make it manageable, but I had obviously overstretched myself. Some things took more time than I thought. Now, I could have gone to bed at the end of the night going, should have got that done, but I didn't. I decided not to do that to myself. I decided to show myself more loving kindness than that, because that mentality was something that I had for many, many years. I wasn't measuring up. I wasn't good enough. So I want you to know that sometimes, you know, we all have days where we think at the end of the night, I should have been more organised. I should have got that done. But that kind of negative self-talk really won't help you achieve the life of abundance and success that you're looking for. But we're all only human. As I say, I nearly fell down that trap last night. I got to that point where I was like, ooh, didn't quite achieve my to-dos. But you remember that when we find ourselves in that situation at the end of the day of thinking, oh, didn't get everything I wanted done, didn't show up the way I wanted, didn't work with the clients the way I wanted, maybe I didn't show up at work the way I wanted. You know, it's important to remember that you're having a normal human experience. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, even me. Nobody's perfect. It doesn't matter how enlightened, awakened, or conscious you become. There is always going to be things that do not go according to plan. You know, heaven knows the universe has shown us that in the last year. You know, things will not necessarily go the way we thought they were going to go. How many people in 2021 made New Year's resolutions about their life and their business, said, this is my year, and along came COVID. And they may have got to 2021 going, right, this is my year, and we're still not where we thought we were going to be in normality. So it's important to realise that we can only control ourselves. We can't control, you know, your friends, your family, and all the other million one things that are going on outside of us that we can't control. But how we react in those moments, how we look at things when things aren't under our control, how we deal with change is incredibly important. And berating yourself, negative self-talk at that point of time is not helpful. It's just okay not to be okay, but don't go down that negative spiral of, oh, it's all my fault and I should have got more done and I'm hopeless and I'm useless and everybody told me I was going to be hopeless and useless and now they've turned out to be right. So don't, you know, try to catch yourself before that. So how do we do that? How do we stop ourselves from falling back down into negative self-talk when we're not feeling okay, when we're taking stuff on that, you know, some things aren't, you know, there's a lot of stuff beyond our control, let's face it. There are certain energies in our environment that are beyond our control that impact our biology, our mood. There's, you know, viruses, there's world economic systems, there's, you know, misogyny, there's race bias, there's all sorts of things that are beyond our control. So how do we deal with being okay with not being okay, but not going into a load of negative self-talk that's just going to compound the fact that somehow it's our fault and we're not measuring up? What do we do when our best falls a little short in our measure? And we can, you know, it's great to have standards, but sometimes, you know, we can fall short of a really tough measure as well. So is it easy to just dust yourself off and get back up? Well, I would say the biggest lessons that I've learned is when you find yourself in a position of, oh, I'm not good enough, I didn't try hard enough, I didn't do this, is self-acceptance. It's acknowledging where you are, that you're doing the best with the knowledge, with the skills, and with the abilities you have at that given time. So it's all about being able to observe all those things that you are feeling and experiencing with deep self-awareness. I got to the end of the day and I didn't get that done, and now I'm feeling what? Frustrated? Angry? Inadequate? What are those feelings? Otherwise it'll start to become really problematic when you have no idea that you're not at your best self. You can constantly be under functioning and you can't make good decisions about your life and your business in that place. So it's worth remembering that, you know, we call it our inner child, if you like, but that inner part of us is acting out. It feels confused, it might feel hurt, unsafe, unheard, but there's that inner part of us that is feeling really, not on steady ground. So what happens when we feel like this? So if we berate ourselves for getting it wrong, for not being the person we should be, we know that we need to be different in that moment. So, you have to look at that inner child as if it's a child. So when children get things wrong, we don't berate them. We say, we would look at it and go, well, what do you need to learn to do this? How can I make this better for you? And that is the loving kindness that you need to talk to yourself with. The Buddhists call it metta in the Buddhist practice, meditative posture. It's this feeling of loving kindness, of saying, I want you to have peace. I want you to be happy. I want you to have joy. I want you to have all the things that you want in life. And just feel it with this great loving kindness. Try and project that feeling into yourself. So instead of, berating ourselves for getting it wrong and not being the person that we know we needed to be in that moment to get that stuff done, instead of doing this, the real invitation is to soothe yourself with loving kindness and really getting deep down and quiet and going, well, why am I feeling like this? What's really wrong here? Is it that I didn't get things done because I didn't know how? Was I procrastinating? Was I not getting things done because I wasn't prioritising my time? These are all things that can be adjusted. These are all things that can be learnt so that we don't have to then go on this constant journey of self-beration. So listen, and where you're in pain and where you're in suffering, acknowledge that and be kind to yourself, and then look at steps to solve that problem. So, it's not just actual practical steps as well. Of course, there is the inner work, isn't there? You can't just cultivate a feeling of loving kindness, without persistently doing the inner work. And as Donkey says in Shrek, we are like onions. There are layers after layers after layers after layers. And the inner work is never really done. There is never, I'm going to start here and I'm going to get to here. There's never going to be an end point. There is never a destination. So the work is just, you're not going to wake up one day and go, oh, I'm totally enlightened and at peace with myself and everything is wonderful. Because no human being is ever going to do that, because our lifetime is a continuous journey of learning and development. And that's okay. That's totally okay. That's fine. That's what we're here for. This learning and this journey of development is what we're here for. And if you want to express that learning through your business and through your relationships, that's how it should be. So the quickest and easiest way to move through these challenging times or feelings or behaviours that you feel aren't supporting you is to fulfill yourself with loving kindness and forgive yourself your mistakes straight away, or your shortcomings, or the things that you think you ought to be doing. Forget should and ought. Fill yourself with loving kindness. If you were your soul, the bigger version of yourself, you would look down on you now and go, God, isn't she trying? She's trying really hard, and look at everything she's put up with. And your soul has absolute love for you. It wants you to succeed. It has the perfect blueprint for the unfolding of success and abundance in your life. Allow that loving kindness into your life. Project loving kindness into yourself, but realizing that it's coming from your soul. It's coming from something more than you. Your incarnated soul is a tiny body, and awareness is a tiny part of your higher self, this bigger part of you that is in touch with the universe. And when we go into a negative self-talk, we cut ourselves off from that bigger part of ourselves. So allow that channel to open up by expanding your awareness with loving kindness. So, but acknowledge your shortcomings. If you've been a bit of a prat, you can say, I got it wrong, I made a mistake, I handled that badly, but I love myself anyway. So the more you're able to name the things that you did wrong and love yourself anyway, the more you will feel yourself expanding. And this expansive energy is what attracts in abundance. It's what the universe loves. And then you can allow that pain and suffering to move through you. You can put it away from yourself. Rather than holding it close and experience it, you can push it into the distance to go, I've learned. I know now how I need to prioritise my time. I know now what skills I need to learn so that I will find this easier next time. I know now how I could handle this relationship better. It's all stuff we can learn. So when you allow that pain and suffering to move through you and choose way more consciously what is the next best step, whether you're going to be saying sorry or moving on or making a different plan next time, it becomes so much easier. You're going to be able to access those things so much more quickly when you come from a place of self-compassion, self-love and self-acceptance and go, if I knew that, I would do it better. You know, for many years I was in an abusive relationship. For anybody who's followed my story will know, 9 years later I'm still trying to get divorced. It's been a long road, not through want of effort on my part. And, you know, there are many times in that relationship, I wish I'd stood up for myself. I wish I'd seen it sooner. How could I have allowed that to happen to myself and my children? Why couldn't I deal with it? I could have gone berating myself on forever with those questions until I really started to look into how abuse happens and how they come in as the saviour and you're wonderful and they love you and, you know, they worship the ground you walk on, they shower you with gifts and attention, and then they slowly start to pull you away from people. So when I realised that I didn't have low self-worth and I didn't have boundary problems, you know, I was just this victim of extreme narcissism, and in my innocence I looked for the best in people, which I still prefer to do. You know, then I was able to much more accept what had happened to me and forgive myself and help my children move through it and look with compassion at my abuser and go, oh, you know, there's a long way for that person to go to improve themselves. It's not my job to do it, but I could see the damage and the hurt inside them that was making them behave that way. So if you're feeling less than okay and it's not great at the moment for you, know that it gets to be. It gets to shift and it gets to transmute if you practice self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-love, and do that inner work. It makes a tremendous difference. And know that ultimately, even in your messiest, most confused, most, you know, not okay state, that you are enough. And it's, you know, it's okay to feel like that. It's just that you need to have a little bit more self-awareness, which we can all cultivate. That's easy to do. And speak to yourself with loving kindness. Open that channel up to your soul that wants you to succeed, that wants you to have the life of abundance, that wants you to live your soul's purpose. It doesn't want to see you curled up in the corner of the room, you know, thinking, oh my God, I'm not good enough. It's sending you so much love. If you can cultivate that love and that loving kindness within yourself, you're opening up that channel. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it helpful. I'd love to hear your comments. How do you practice self-love? How do you practice self-compassion? You know, let's share how we do these things so that, because they may be of help to other people. So my name is Faye Semple. I am the spiritual and embodiment coach to spiritual female entrepreneurs, so to help them step into their power and purpose and increase their impact and income. This has been Reconnect, my weekly series, and I will see you on Monday for Magic Monday, and I've very soon got a podcast launching, so I'm really excited about that. It's going to be called Soul Companion, and it literally is going to be a companion for you in many aspects of your life: spirituality, mindset, business, health, the complete 360 that makes us a human being. So I've got some great guests lined up. It's going to be really exciting. So look out for that. It's going to be short sessions, not going to interfere with your day too much, because, you know, we're all very busy people. We want bite-sized chunks that we can listen to, assimilate and act upon very easily. So, and if you want to learn more about this stuff, do hop over to my Facebook group, the Quantum Success Circle. I'll put the link above or below, whichever way it appears, can't remember, one or the other. And come in and join me. That's full of all sorts of mindset, energy, and increasingly business tips, because, you know, I'm all about empowering women, and to empower women, one of the biggest things we need is money. Money does make the world go round, and money gives us choices, and empowered women empower other women. So if you're struggling in business at the moment, you're just not having the impact and the income you feel you're deserving on, then hop over to my group, Divine Feminine, it was Divine Feminine CEO, so I've renamed it, the Quantum Success Circle, and I will see you in there. Take care then. Bye.